सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा. Welcome to Infinity Astrological Sciences and YouTube viewers. Today I am going to discuss the birth chart of Swami Vivekananda, Smoke of India. Swami Vivekananda was born on 12 January 1863 in Calcutta at 6:20 a.m. His father Vishwanatha Dutt was a lawyer and mother Sri Bhuvaneshwari was a housewife. He had his primary education at Ishwar Sagar Vidya School in Calcutta. And if you see his birth chart, he was born in the Lagna of Sagittarius, that is Dhanus. The Lagna Lord Jupiter is well posited in 11th house of the chart of fulfillment. And his Lagna star was Uttarashada, who is the constellation of Sun. And Sun, the ninth lord, has been posited in Lagna. That means a fiery planet of fiery sign in a fiery sign of Sagittarius. And even the sun was in his own constellation, Uttarashada. So his Lagna was formed at 27 degrees. Both Lagna and the placement of Sun are in the constellation of Uttarashada, which is his own star. And his second house has been occupied by two natural benefics, Venus and Mercury. Venus was in a constellation of Uttarashada, which is of Sun, and the Mercury was in the constellation of Shravana, whose lord is Moon. These two natural benefics as well posited in their own friendly house Saturn, and Saturn was well posited in his chart in the 10th house, denoting his career in connection with speech. These two benefics, Venus and Mercury, one can understand the Mercury is a planet of intelligence and rules the nervous system, knowledge, etc. Was well posited in second house of speech, along with his friend Venus, who is the Karka for artistic qualities. So one can note that his speech was having the possession of both. He was an intelligent plus he was very dynamic and artistic quality. And during his childhood itself, he had a training of Indian classical music and was a very good expert in music. And he had learnt all Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata, and the holy epic Bhagavad Gita in that early age itself. He has digested all the Vedantic literature. And as I said, he was admitted in this Ishwar Chandra Sagar Vidya Laya, where he has done his primary education. The second and third Lord, Saturn, is well posited in 10th house, again in his friendly house of Virgo, in the constellation of Hasta, whose Lord is Moon. And his fourth Lord, Jupiter, as I said, he is well posited in the house of fulfillment, that is 11th Bhava. In the constellation of Mars. So his fourth house indicates his primary education, his motherlyhood, his attachment with the mother and family, and his fifth house, which is the house of luck, higher education, Purva Punya, is been well placed by its own Lord Mars in the constellation of Ashwini, that is Ketus. By rendering the higher knowledge he pursued during his tenure of bachelor. And this Mars is being aspected by Jupiter from 11th house. And Mars is also being aspected by Jupiter. So they have 180 degrees direct aspect on each planet. And his sixth house is been occupied by Ketu in the constellation of Rohini, that is Moon's constellation. And his eighth Lord, Moon, is well posited in 10th house. As all of us know that the 8th house signifies the spirituality, occult sciences, mantra, this longevity, hidden treasures, mainly occult sciences. Is well posited in conjunction with Saturn, who is the lord of second house. And his 12th house is occupied by Rahu in the constellation of Jesta, whose lord is Buddha, that is Mercury. So this is the birth chart of Swami Vivekananda. Here we will have to examine certain important aspects. In a natural zodiac, the ninth house represents the higher wisdom, knowledge of higher studies, knowing of eternal truth, bath in holy rivers, foreign journeys, and it is also Pitrusthana, speaks about his father, and it is the house of Dharma, Dharma Trikona. In a natural zodiac, Sagittarius is the ninth house, which is called Dharma Trikona. And it is the Lagna of Swami Vivekananda, which is the first house of the chart. And the first, fifth, and the ninth, these three are called Dharma Trikonas. So one has to carefully examine these three, which is the landmark in his horoscope. The fiery planet in a fiery sign, the placement of Sun, who is a fiery planet in a fiery sign, in his own constellation Uttarashada, had given this dynamic personality. If you see Swami Vivekananda's appearance, he is well balanced personality with high dignity, glittering eyes, mental vigor. Whatever the first house signifies, all significations were enhanced, and he is a practical demonstration of these qualities which he has inherited. This is the first bhava, that is first Dharma Trikona, and second Dharma Trikona was fifth house. In fifth house, fifth lord is well posited, aspecting the Lagna Lord Jupiter in 11th house of fulfillment. So all these three fiery planets, Sun, Mars and Jupiter, had given him this personality to become a being of establishing dharma. These three dharma trikonas have made him establish dharma on the planet. So this is the most important phenomena in his Kundali. And if you take the second house of speech, wealth, communication, the presence of two natural benefics, Venus and Mercury, had given him this tremendous turbulent voice and his access to music, and he knew all dynamics of talking. And I'll explain this about next time. This is, I am talking about astrology, so I don't want to go much deeper into that. And his 10th house, that is the house of name, fame, and profession. Second lord of Saturn is well positioned in 10th house, indicating his profession is connected with speech and communication of dharma. So anyone can understand the placement of these planets have induced him to be a personality of establishing dharma and spreading the message of ultimate science. And Saturn is in conjunction with Moon. Moon was the lord of 8th house, who speaks about occult sciences and spirituality. So his journey, his career has to be in connection with these three. And the placement of Saturn in 10th house has induced him to become a such magnanimous personality who can attract all the masses of this world. And the connection of Moon, Manahkaraka, as the dictum goes, Chandrama Manaso Jataha, a very sensitive, fast moving planet among the 7 planets, who knew the experience of each and every event in life. This moon is posited in 10th house, indicating his profession and his career is to spread message of ultimate truth to the world. That is Sanatana Dharma. And you can see these both planets, Saturn and Moon, are in the constellation of Hasta, which is moons. So his career has been represented by these 2 planets. His name, fame, everything has to come from these significations. And Swami Vivekananda had his Lagnadipati in 11th house of fulfillment, indicates whatever he was aiming to become he had become. That is, the planet Jupiter in 11th house will give all its efficacies, and thereby rendering him to become a famous personality of this world. Rahu position in 12th house in the constellation of Jyeshtha, that is of Buddha, Mercury. This house is also called as Vayabhava, and it was a moksha sthana. The placement of Rahu has amplified the quest of liberation in 12th house. And you can notice this in whole of Swami Vivekananda's life. From childhood to a bachelor up to his almost 21 years. How he had lived. He was admitted into a Scottish church college after his first examination of fine arts. Yes, got a certificate. Then he has joined this Scottish church college for his graduation, where he received degree in Bachelor in Arts. And it was this time he met his preceptor Guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa on the advice of one of his professor. As Swami Vivekananda was in deep quest of knowing God from his childhood, and this has been intensified in him from childhood. Whenever he happened to meet anybody, his first question was to, do you know God? Have you seen God? If you have seen, show me. So this deepest quest of God has been intensified in him, and on the advice of his professor, he met first time in 1881 Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and with one touch of his preceptor Guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, whole life has been transformed. He had felt that ultimate alchemy of the highest. That means he was a ripened soul of spirituality who could experience this ultimate bliss. From then, he was in constant association with Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa until he finished his graduation. And it was during graduation day, when he has passed his BA, he was in a celebration. He came to know that his father was passed away. And after this, his life has taken a different turn. He had 3 sisters, 2 brothers, and his mother, whose responsibility is been on the shoulders of Swami Vivekananda, and he had to look after all these people. This was the time some financiers have come to his house and taken away all the property. And he was in deep distress and grief. And this whole period he was in a big trauma. He had to join some institution as a teacher, and he was looking after the family. And this period, he had spent many days without food also. When his mother asked him about his food, he used to say that he had food outside. So, like all other beings, he has undergone this trauma. But his constant quest of seeking was being more intensified, and this incident has enhanced his seeking of highest. And in the year 1886, so on 16 August 1886, Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has attained Mahasamadhi. And it was this time he had taken the responsibility of his Guru's spreading the message of his Guru. And it was so happened once that when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was admitted in a hospital with cancer and acute leukemia, Swami Vivekananda asked for Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And this is the time Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has told him, this should not become a selfish greed for an individual. And this highest wisdom of Akhanda Ananda has to be spread to the whole world, and see that everybody enjoys this bliss. This was the message who has taken all parts of this world by Swami Vivekananda. And afterwards, he had visited all the country, and that is a different story. He met many kings of this nation. It was during British period. After he set up an ashram, first within 3 months of the demise of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he has founded Ramakrishna Math. Then he has started visiting all the places as Parivrajak, and he came to Kanyakumari, where he has sanctified a rock which is even now called as Vivekananda Memorial Rock. Then he left to Chennai. From there he decided to go to Chicago for attending the Parliament of World Religions. An announcement of this, some of the kings in India gave him some contribution, and he started sailing to Chicago. On the way, he met so many people and he had visited so many places like Singapore, Thailand, Japan, Tokyo, and he happened to meet many people like Jamshed Tata and all in the journey, where he was inspired to talk about the various subjects with Jamshed Tata about engineering, technology, science, agriculture, philosophy, in all areas. And finally, he had reached Chicago after 2 months. That is during May 1993. Sorry, 1893. I think it is reached Chicago. And he came to know then the seminar of the Parliament of World's Religion has been postponed for next 2 months, and whatever money he had with him was not sufficient to stay there for that span of time. And the cost of living in Chicago was very high, and on the advice of someone that he had left to Boston, where the cost of living is little less. On the journey, he met a lady by name Catherine, who gave him an accommodation and all facilities. And he had to go to a library every day and used to collect a book. And next day he used to return. So once that librarian has asked him and cursed him, why do you take every day one book and return it back in the next day? Why don't you read? When you are not reading, why do you take? And it is that time Swami Vivekananda has told her that, who said I am not reading? You ask anything from whatever books I have taken until now, I'll answer you. Then it so happened she questioned and she was astonished for the answers. He had that photographic memory. He was Ek Santagrahi. He had many features in him like that. And the day has come here to attend this Parliament of World's Religion. He was not having any invitation nor any recommendation from any politician or anybody. It was during that time he happened to meet W.H. Wright, who was the professor of Harvard University. He was with him for 2 days. And Mr. Wright understood the potential in Swami Vivekananda, and he wrote a letter to an organizing committee chairman of this Parliament of World Religions, stating that there is a monk from India who is capable of justifying the need of religion, who had an immense potential in him. Even if you keep all the participants one side and the salon other side, he is able to justify the function with his immense power of speech and reality. And then he goes to Chicago from Boston. While traveling, he has lost somewhere this recommendation letter. And again, he happened to undergo a problem. He was in great confusion in the streets of Boston. He had to take shelter in some train bogie one day night, and other day he had stood under a tree without food, and a lady just opposite to Swamiji's thing opened her door and came and saw the glittering face of Swamiji. She understood he must have come from a great nation to attend this spiritual meeting. So, as we come to know that he is from India, came to attend this Parliament of World's Religion. She has accommodated Swami Vivekananda and she has recommended to the organizing committee, and finally he got a chance to speak about his religion. And when he addressed the audience, I think he was the last man of that meeting, because with his dressing and all that, so many other things were there which is not required, because I am speaking about the astrology part of the Swami Vivekananda, it is not the biography. He was placed as the last man in the session. I think some 21st or seat, last seat was his, and the auditorium was well furnished with the Christian priest in the center and all others across the hall. The hall was filled with more than 4,000 people of so many countries from different continents. And Swami Vivekananda had listened to all the religious preachers of this world from different continents. Finally, when his turn came, so when he addressed the audience with his word, "Sisters and brothers of America," the whole audience stood up and gave him standing ovation. Because here one should notice that this speech was not mere speech, or it was not a mere sound. It is a terrific turbulent energy in the form of speech has been emanated from the deep course of his heart. This is the culmination of all purity which is manifested in him. That's why it could touch each and every soul, and it has penetrated each and every citizen of this audience, and it has become the task of whole Chicago in the next day. All newspapers and headlines, his name has been published. So here what I would like to say is, the placement of all these planets indicates this chart that no other Vivekananda can born anywhere. And this is the importance of astronomy and astrophysics. And these things have been clearly written during the time of sage Parashara and Varahamihira. And it is the highest science. If you just go deeper into this study, you will find The sage Parashara never misused even a minute, nanosecond. His writings, his text of Hora Shastra was such a beautiful and most knowledgeable text. And one should understand. Without understanding, we should not speak about anything. And if you see these astronomical points, like see Swami Vivekananda, Lagna was formed in Uttarashada constellation. Whoever was born in this constellation, they will not have an immediate result, but they will have invincible victory. Invincible victory. That means in Sanskrit you call Uttarashada. That means lasting name and fame forever. And no Vivekananda was born again on this planet. This is the triumph of this, significance of this Uttarashada constellation. And many people are born on this constellation, like Washington was the first, George Washington was the first president of America. Alexander, Swami Vivekananda, some of the examples. He was born in this star of Uttarashada. That is, their Lagna was formed in that star. Star means not where the moon is posited. I am talking about the star of Lagna. Lagna was formed in this star. John F. Kennedy was also born in this star. So these people have made remarkable name and fame in their life. It is because of the very birth of a being with this placement of the planets and so many other things in the horoscope determine the chart. Hence, Swami Vivekananda wrote many books also in highest Vedantic philosophy, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. There were so many other publications. And afterwards, he was well known to the whole world, and everybody knows he was an inspirer to become independent India. Only after his tour to the West, the world came to know that the essence of Hindu philosophy and Sanatana Dharma and all the holy epics. And Swami Vivekananda again has gone to Paris once. He was invited to England, so many countries. He had travelled many countries and he has done marvelous work. And you have to notice one thing in his horoscope. See, he had a powerful Dhana Yoga. Why he has to undergo all this turmoil in life is not required. But always he used to dream about two things. One side, accumulation of physical and material wealth. Other side, knowing and knowledge. So this was present. He used to have dreams about these two. And he had all the option to become whatever he wants. See, second Lord, who is the Lord of wealth, Dhanasthana is posited in 10th house of profession, name, fame. And 10th Lord is posited in second house. This gives rise to very powerful Dhana Yoga. And 11th Lord Venus and 11th Lord Venus and the second sorry, 11th Lord Venus is posited in second house, which also gives rise to very powerful Dhana Yoga. If he wants to become, he would have become the richest man of this world. He had all that yogas in his horoscope. But his quest of seeking God, higher truths, permanent bliss was so powerful, and he had to become that. And he has attained Mahasamadhi, I think during 1902, in the year 1902. Until today, nobody else can fill his place. And there was a street even now in America in the name of Swami Vivekananda. And I was told that even that auditorium, though it was changed into a very big monument now, still they had put lamps where he had given this speech first time in Chicago. So whole West knew the essence of Vedanta philosophy, and he had given a new dimension of religion which every part of this universe can accept. All the dogmas and doctrines about Hinduism, Swami Vivekananda has clarified, as most of the West were thinking that Hindu religion was just worshipping idols, and it was during that time there was Sati Sagamana. If husband dies, wife is forced to death. All those things were there in their minds. But all these things were clarified, and had convinced everybody in the audience that this religion is a universal religion. It is a Sanatana Dharma which will not be meant for any separate sect, seed or community, caste. It is a universal religion which always craves for the harmony, peace and bliss of whole universe. This was his message. Pranams to Swami Vivekananda. Thank you.